What's going on, YouTube? Effect Records here. So this is a long overdue awaited video of me installing the turbocharger. So this is actually going to be installed hopefully this week. So this is just part one. This is mainly just me removing the manifold, the exhaust manifold, and some exhaust pipes, hopefully, just to get that out of the way so that I can squeeze the turbo into it. So that's the video that we got going on today. So let's go ahead and pop the hood. Just like that. So this is what we got so far for the way everything is located. So basically I'm going to be removing that manifold and the exhaust pipe behind it. I got me a gasket and everything else I think I need, hopefully, but that is coming off right the fuck now. So I'm pretty stoked, pretty excited. So let's go ahead. I'm going to jack up the car, and then once jacked, I'm going to start by probably removing the strut bar that goes across there, and then hopefully getting behind there to remove the bolts that, or the nuts that should be on the stud, or however that is in there, if I can focus. It's somewhere in there. Oh man, this camera has a terrible time focusing. There we go, kind of. I got it. But anyway, so that's what we're going to be working on. So let's go ahead and jack the car up. Okay, so I got the car jacked up completely, all the way, using 4 jack stands so that I can get my creeper under it. I can get under it. First I'm going to snag these lights right here, and yeah, so I can shine it down so I have more light, see what I'm working with, and then start to remove the strut bar. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and take off my strut bar using a 14mm and an extension 3/8 drive ratchet. So let's go ahead and get this off so we have a lot more clearance, and then hopefully I can test it and see if I can squeeze my turbo through that little gap right there. So let's try to get out of the way for you guys. Do the same thing for the other side. Go ahead and remove the strut bar. Just like that, go ahead and set this aside. Now just to be safe, I'm going to go ahead and take these nuts and thread them on the top of this stud here. That'll keep it from the, that'll keep the strut power from falling through. I can go ahead and take off this heat shield right here. That should allow me to access to these bolts that's holding the manifold. I'm gonna see if my fiance can record while I'm doing that at the best angle that she can, if I can't get my tripod to do it. So let's go ahead and take these 3 bolts off and see where we're at. Alright, to get these bolts out, I'm going to be using a 12 millimeter as well as a 6-inch extension. Go ahead and break them loose. There's that one. Let's go and take off this heat shield if I can. Okay, new plan. So it's getting caught right there on the hoist thing for the engine. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down there and right there, there's some bolts or something. If I can fucking focus. Tap it with my nose maybe. Okay, right there, there's like a bolt that I'm going to go ahead and take out. There's one on either side, and this is what actually holds on the exhaust to the manifold. So I'm going to try to remove the exhaust first, and then I'm just going to pull the manifold, and that should give me enough clearance so that I can take this exhaust shield and the manifold out. So that's the new plan. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Grab the creeper. Okay, so I got that side off right there, and then I also got the other one, and it was basically a 14 millimeter that I used a breaker bar to break loose, and then ratchet. Then I just ratcheted it off like that, and I got the other side as well. Now if I zoom out, I don't know if you can see it, but there's 2 19 millimeter nuts on this pipe right here. Like I said, you probably can't see it because it's dark as fuck, but take my word for it. There's 2 on each, or there's 1 on each side. And then there's the O2 sensor right there, which right before the O2 sensor is going to be cut off, and that's what's going to shoot up into my downpipe, hopefully. So that's the plan for that. So let me go ahead and get these 2 nuts off and this pipe removed, and yeah. Okay guys, I finally got the pipe off. So let's go ahead and show you what came off all together. So we got this one right here, and this is what goes into your catalytic converter, basically, into your O2 sensor right there. This piece also came off. It's like a flange or something like that to keep the exhaust together. These are the 2 14 millimeter bolts that the first ones that I took off. They have these little spring compression things on them, and then these are the 2 19 right here. So that's what I got off of the the exhaust off the manifold. So now let's go ahead and try to take off the manifold itself along with that heat shield, and then as soon as I do that, I can start slapping on the turbo. So it sounds pretty easy, doesn't it? But let's get to it. So it turns out that the mounting bracket won. So I went ahead and took that off to hopefully now get the heat shield cover off. So go ahead and toss that aside. Whew, just a little tug and I got it out. And by little tug, I mean, whew, wore me out. So yeah, now we can go ahead and continue taking these manifold bolts out. So since we got the heat shield off, it's going to make our job so much easier getting to this nut right over there. So let's go ahead and continue taking off this manifold, getting that out of the way, and so yeah. Okay, so I got the top nuts off for the most part. I got two of them. I think there's two more, but with that being said, there is those two bolts right there in the middle of the screen. That goes to the bracket for the manifold as well. It holds on to the engine, so it's 14 millimeter, and those have to come off as well. So that's what I'm doing now, and I apologize for not getting everything camera recorded. It's very difficult. Since I'm the only cameraman and stuff like that, squeezing under my car, it's tight spaces, but I'm getting the best I can. But yeah, those two bolts got to come out, and then there's two more on the other side as well, because it comes up to this little thing right here, and then it meets the middle and stuff like that. Or I can probably take off this one in the middle and still get the manifold out, but I'll still have this bracket in my way, so I'm just going to go ahead and take it out anyway. But then I could possibly get to the nuts on the underside of the manifold easier. So that's the plan. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these out, and then update you guys on where I'm at after that. Okay, so what I did was I got rid of those brackets down below, and I'll show those here in a second. But there was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts holding this manifold in. So I got, or nuts, I apologize, 5 nuts holding those in from the studs and stuff like that to hold this manifold in. So anyway, I got those out. So are you guys ready? You ready, Dakota?
Yes. I better get money for this.
Look at that. The old manifold is out. It is hell fucking rusted and dirty and nasty, but it's out. So that is a milestone. So now what we gotta do is make sure the We got to make sure this faceplate over here for the manifold is all clean with the gasket. You know, remove all that. I'll slap the new gasket on and then put the new manifold on with the turbo, and yeah, basically that's going to be done. And then probably at a later date I'll figure out, like maybe tomorrow I will do the oil. Hopefully that's what I'm hoping anyway. Tonight I get the turbo in, because that'll be badass. But so I'm so close, guys, so bear with me. So let me go ahead and try to scrape off this faceplate and slap the turbo on. Okay, so you know I just mentioned about me scraping stuff off. Well, it turns out that it's not a paper gasket. Instead it's a metal one, so I shouldn't have to scrape anything. But with that being said, I will clean it and make sure it's clean so that the new one can seal perfectly. But other than that, yeah, because the new one I did buy was a paper one, so it's like a paper machete kind of gasket. But this one's not, it's a metal one. So yeah, let's go ahead and I'm gonna clean that really good and then drop in the new turbo. Just wanted to let you guys know that I just like reached down and pulled it off, and I was like, that's cool. So yep, let's carry on. Alright, so here's our new gasket for our manifold. Let's go ahead and slap this on. Go ahead and line up our holes. Alright, once that's on, we can go ahead and take our turbo. Give me this heavy bitch. I'm gonna flip it around. Now I put painter's tape on the ends of my oil, just so nothing falls down in there, so I can basically take them off later. But let's go ahead and shove it down this hole. Okay. Hopefully all the clearance is good. Okay, so we found a couple errors, and I'm going to go over those with you in a second. But see that middle thing right there in the center of the camera? I'm removing that. That's like a bracket for some sort, but I don't care, I'm getting rid of it. And then also this AC line is going to get in the way right there. So I'm hoping to remove that mounting bracket and like just pushing it out of the way for right now. If not, I can make it work, but it puts a little bit of strain on the AC, so I'm trying not to do that. But anyway, so what we had to do is we had to switch the turbo around. So what we did was we just swapped it, because the compressor housing ended up not fitting because the transmission was there. So we had to pivot the whole fucking thing. So that's how we got around it. We haven't test fitted it fully yet, but we're experimenting with it. Just like loose and stuff like that. So we're about to go ahead and put this back in once I remove those mounting brackets and get that stuff out of the way. So yeah, that's basically where we're at right now. It's like, what, like 11:30? He's checking his watch thing.
11:41.
11:41. I've been working on this since like 7:30. So it's definitely a decent process on getting the old manifold out and all these problem solvings, but just relaying to you guys. The main reason why is because since I got an Evo manifold, it usually has a built-in wastegate or an internal wastegate, so I had to go with an external. So I got this adapter. That's what made it too long, so it sat too close to the transmission, and this would not even fit at all. So that's what we're doing now. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna remove those and then test fit this and see how it goes. Okay, so with a lot of fighting and stuff like that, I finally got the manifold and the turbo onto the Lancer. So like I said, it's switched because it was over there, but it was hitting the transmission. So we switched it. Now the wastegate's on this side. I had to loosen that to pivot it because it was very close on the firewall, like hella close, but it fits. So that's all that I'm concerned about. And then I got a socket stuck right up there, and I'm not entirely sure I'm getting it out. I've just been trying for like the last 15 minutes trying to get that socket out, and it's a snap-on socket, so I really want it back. I don't want it to be part of my car, and because it looks dumb. So trying to figure a way to get that out, but we got the manifold on. I'm about to put these nuts back on, tighten it down, and so it should be good to go and stay there like that. So that's what we got done tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the nuts on it and hopefully get that socket out, and then probably call it a night for tonight because I'm fucking tired of shit. I'm gonna put on the covers for that as well. They fell on the ground when I was trying to fuck with this, but like I said, it was a very tight fit, but believe we got it to work because there's the little cylinder to the compressor housing. Yeah, there's an AC compressor, or there's an AC line right there in the middle, which is very inconvenient, but I plan on just pushing it out of the way over the housing and then fitting my 3-inch to 2.5-inch coupling right there, and then to a 90-degree straight up where there's going to be an air filter, and then this is going to go probably slanted over, and then it's going to connect to this thing. So that's the plan for right now, but I'm going to do that and then be back here tomorrow to finish it. So yeah, that's basically probably this video, because I got a lot of editing to do with other videos. So if you like this video, please comment, rate, and subscribe for more awesome videos. I'll either be doing that, like I said, tomorrow, or I get off Sunday, so about like 4 days away for my next day off. So it could either be Sunday or Monday. So depending, I like to get it done, so hopefully tomorrow. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. If you like this video, please comment, rate, and subscribe, and then hopefully I can get all this stuff done. All right, peace. Oh, then also we had to remove this to get it down because I was kind of hitting. So hopefully when I go under it to look, it's not hitting anymore, because it was hitting the transmission, the same issue. So if so, I might have to cut it a little bit down to size, or maybe cut it down to size like parallel with where the wastegate is, and then maybe cut a little hole out there that would go to the that would expand into the exhaust system. So many issues, but we'll figure it out. All right, peace.